Hello and welcome to the Witch's Brew. I'm your host, Amanda, and this week's witchy topic is working with the old gods. Now, this is an episode that I channeled already and it got deleted. So, we're going to try again, and hopefully, this gets into your ears. So, I'm being told to talk about my experiences working with some of the old gods. Now, let's talk a little bit about what classifies as the old gods. I feel like most people have some understanding of it, but what I classify it as are the Norse gods, the Greek and Roman gods, the Celtic gods. There are, ancient Egyptian, sorry. There are a bunch of cultures that in ancient practices, Mayans are coming through right now, that have systems of gods that they prayed to and worshiped in a variety of different ways. So we are talking about those gods. Now, I do a lot of work with the Greek gods. I also do some work with the ancient Egyptian gods, as well as the Norse, and a few Celtic as well. I've also had gods from other cultures reach out as well. All right. I am, again, I'm sure I've said it before on here. I am very open to pretty much working with any god, any deity. All right. I've also done work with like the Christian deities, which some people are like a hard pass because religious trauma. Totally get that. But I will say most of my work that I do is with the Greek gods. Now, each how do I want to put this? Okay. Each god and goddess has their own energy and their own specialty. I highly recommend just researching, and the phrase doing your homework is popping up right now. So do your homework, because there really are a lot of different gods from a lot of different civilizations that you have the potential to working with, and some people are more drawn to different gods and goddesses and different systems. So do your research and see what resonates with you most. And if you, like me, resonate with a bunch of different gods and goddesses, that's okay too. Okay? There is no animosity over here. Okay? If you, because I've done work with Hades, and who is Greek, Loki, who is Norse, and Hathor, who is Egyptian, like all around the same time. All right. And their energy is very powerful. The word potent keeps coming up for some reason. So it can be a lot at first, especially if this is your first time like reaching out and asking for help. Now, my recommendations for reaching out and asking for help is to build a relationship first. You wouldn't go up to a random person in a cafe and say, I need you to fix my relationship, because that wouldn't go well. It's kind of similar with the gods. Build a relationship first. Now, it's one thing if they are reaching out to you directly, which quite a few of them will do that. Some of the ways you can know is like seeing their signs and their symbols in your day-to-day life. So a couple ones that are coming to mind right now. Persephone is pomegranates. So, and she also uses crows a lot for me too. So if you're seeing a lot of pomegranates or crows, now I will say a lot of deities do use crows. So use your discretion with that one. All right, but definitely pomegranates. That's Persephone reaching out to you. If you see a lot of black dogs or a lot of keys, also getting lanterns, that's Hecate. If you are seeing a lot of dolphins and roses, mermaids, that's Aphrodite. Odin says ravens. And like hearing caws, like from a raven or a crow, like hearing that noise. Ocean, like seeing references to the ocean, as well as like seashells. I'm hearing like octopus or squid. That's Poseidon. And Oshun is something very similar. So again, I can probably go on and on with these. We just did, or backtrack. Last week, I released an episode about eclipses. It could have been 2 weeks ago. But I like literally just filmed it right before hitting record on this. So like Apollo and Ra are coming through with the sun. Artemis is coming through, as well as Thoth with the moon. Anubis is now coming through with German shepherds. Athena is coming through with owls. Loki is also coming through with snakes. That could also be Lilith as well. So again, if I feel like I went on a total rant with that, so I apologize, but hopefully some of those signs resonated with some of you. I feel like if they had me go that in depth, I feel like they did. So that seeing those signs or seeing the videos that say like message from Hecate or message from whoever, all right, that's also that deity reaching out to you. Okay. Same goes for the archangels, but we're talking about the old gods. All right. I feel like someone needed to hear that. However, if you're feeling drawn to a deity or a god and you would like to work with them, build a relationship with them. Hermes is coming through real strong. Hermes likes Cheez-Its, by the way. So we'll talk about Hermes for a little bit. Let's say you are having trouble with communication, or maybe you want to travel somewhere. Hermes is fantastic to work with. Same with the goddess Iris. She's like kind of the female counterpart to Hermes. So let's say communication is lacking, or you want to travel somewhere. You want to build a relationship with Hermes. Great. How do you do that? Start talking to him, number one. All right. You can talk to him out loud. You can talk to him in your head. You can talk to any of them out loud or in your head. You can write a letter to them if you feel more comfortable doing that, and like leaving it in a space and just saying like, Hermes, this letter is for you. Please read it when you have a chance. You can leave them offerings. A lot of them like fruit. If you're dealing with a god or goddess that likes water, seashells would be great. Again, Hermes likes Cheez-Its, so I typically will give him Cheez-Its. I don't know why. For a while, I was just always seeing him with a box of Cheez-Its. So I finally started giving him Cheez-Its, and he seems a lot happier now. So do that. Reach out first. Leave them an offering. And then you should start seeing signs from them pretty shortly after. All right. Some of them, it is a little trickier to get them to start working with you. It took Zeus a while before he would work with me, which is fine. Like, that's totally up to him. All right. I had to reach out a couple times. And one of the tricks with Zeus, if he's one of the gods that you really want to work with, every time it rains or storms, say thank you. That goes a long, long way. And when you notice that a god or goddess is reaching out to you, say thank you. Okay. Now, if you don't want them to reach out to you, you can tell them, like, I'm not comfortable with this yet. Like, thank you for the sign, but not comfortable with this yet. Like, try again later. Or whatever resonates with you at the time. But if you are welcoming the sign, definitely say thank you. All right. Do you have to give offerings? No. Does it have to be anything elaborate? No. Some of them are, honestly, a lot of them actually are fine if you just talk to them. And that's it. A lot of them are just, they're happy to be acknowledged and they're happy to help. Again, some of them you have to petition a little bit more than others. Use your intuition, use your discretion. They do want me to talk about the differences between working with them and working with like the Christian deities. Because I have seen people online who came from Christianity and want to start working with the old gods. And then they do, and they get a little scared and they run back to Christianity, which is fine, to each their own. Okay, I'm not judging anybody. But what I do want to make you aware of is these gods are here to help. Not that the Christian gods aren't. But these, I want to call them guys, these guys, but these gods and goddesses, they are very old magic, which means they have more power and sway than a lot of people give them credit for. They are also not as gentle as the Christian deities. The energy of working with Mother Mary is a lot different than the energy working with Demeter, with Hathor, with Artemis, Athena. It's obviously going to be very different working with Mother Mary than it is working with Hecate. All right. I don't want to scare anybody. I just want to be truthful here. The working with the old gods, you are going to have to face some stuff about yourself that you maybe didn't realize you needed to face. And having to do that really scares some people. And is it fun all the time? No, it's not. But the thing about doing the introspective work, the shadow work, is that it works. If you do it, it will work. Okay? And sometimes working with the old gods is really having to look hard at yourself in the mirror. However, with all that being said, I am a much more self-aware person than I was before I started doing work with the old gods. I am also more kind and compassionate to myself. And I also don't take as much shit from anybody else. So again, I say all of that just to be honest, because I do see quite a few people who expect all of the old gods to be like a nurturing mother's embrace, and sometimes that is the experience, and other times it's not. And I don't want to like paint this picture where it's just something like, oh, magical and wonderful all the time. And then you start getting into the work and you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. And there are periods of time where you're like, yeah, this kind of sucks. One of the things that I have been working on with my spirit team and with the old gods is knowing when to rest and knowing when to set boundaries of other people's expectations of me, as well as my own expectations of me. Which means for all of 2025, I have been working through so many lessons where I don't slow down and I don't take their advice and like take time for myself, and then I end up sick. I was sick so many times between late January through early June, because the lesson that I was working through was like knowing when to take time for myself. And someone over here just said, "You're still not very good at it." And I know I'm not. Okay. But again, I'm doing the work, and that's just the kind of work that I am working through. Last fall, I was doing a lot of work on standing up for myself, setting boundaries, and saying no. But because I did the work then, it was a lot easier come May of this year, 2025, to tell my boss, no, I'm not doing department chair anymore. To tell other people, like, no, I'm not going to be doing XYZ, and it's not going to happen. So is it all sunshine and rainbows? No. Does the work work? Yes, it does. And doing the work with the old gods has also just been so rewarding. Okay, they want me to specify like both monetarily, like financially, and also emotionally, mentally. So again, I really hope that this helps. I really hope I didn't scare any of you away from it. It's something where, you know, I was thinking about this summer 2024, because during that period of my life, they did give me the option to go back to the way things used to be and like say goodbye to mediumship, to working with the old gods, to witchcraft, to all of it. And they gave me the option many times. And every single time I said no. I'm not going back to the way things were. Like, I can't fathom going back to the way that my life used to be before I started doing this work and before I started working with all of them. So, yeah, I love them. I appreciate them. Even despite the fact that they woke me up at like 3:30 this morning, or when Aphrodite wakes me up at 6 o'clock in the morning to tell me that she wants seashells. I still really love doing this work. So I love you. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can, if you're on the YouTube channel, you can leave me a comment below the video. If you have more like specific personal questions, or if you're listening to it on one of the podcast apps. You can email me at thewitchesbrewpodcast, all one word, at gmail.com. And I would love to answer any of your questions. I would love to say any reassurances if you have any stories that you would like to share about working with the old gods. I would love to do a follow-up of this episode and answer any questions, share stories even. So yeah, please reach out. Again, that's the Witches Brew Podcast at gmail.com, or you can leave a comment at the YouTube channel. But I love you so much, and I will see you again next week. Bye.